One of you mentioned in a comment not too long ago that you kind of enjoyed the detailing videos I did years ago. So I thought I would buy a new product here called Code Red, which you can buy, I'll have a link in the description below so you can buy right there from Amazon. But I'm going to try it out on these wheels to see how it works. Now these haven't been cleaned for probably 3 weeks, so they have a little bit of brake dust on them and buildup and grime. So I'm going to give you my honest feedback on how this stuff works. It turns red when you spray it on, and then it's green when it's clean and ready to go. So I'm going to spray these down and we'll see how it works. Now because I live in an apartment currently, it's very hard to get access to water. So I have this bottle full of distilled water. Now the reason I use distilled water, it doesn't have any nutrients or any chemicals or anything like that in it. It's just plain water, so it's not going to leave any water spots on the car. So I'm going to use this to spray the wheel down just to cool it a little bit, and then I will go ahead and spray on that. I also have this brush that I use. Again, all this stuff will be linked down in the description. It says to let it sit for 3 to 5 minutes, so that's what we'll do. So here's an after look of the wheels. A lot of marketing on their end. On the back of the bottle, if you saw, it says it turns red at first and then green. Yeah, unfortunately that didn't happen. So now I'm going to take it to the hand car wash that I usually get it done at. I do actually use a waterless wash as well. I got it from Chemical Guys. It's okay. I think if you're going to get a waterless wash, you should get the one from Larry at Ammo NYC. It's expensive, but it's worth it. It's just worth it. I'm gonna go to the wash and get it done because it's pretty dirty. It needs to be hand washed. And then I'm gonna take you to another place just to show you kind of how I go about detailing my car living in an apartment down in the city. So I go through a couple extra steps just to make sure it's accurately done. So let's go. Turning radius isn't that bad in the Focus ST. Alright, car's all cleaned up. We get that done at A&B Hand Car Wash and Detailing in downtown Phoenix, and you'll notice there's also a Chick-fil-A right there. So I actually just went into that Chick-fil-A, you know, the Chick-fil-A Popeyes conversation's happening right now. I haven't had the Popeyes yet, but what I will say is Chick-fil-A's service, the experience you get in there, is second to none, and I can't imagine it being that good in Popeyes. I haven't been in a Popeyes in a while, but I mean, this girl, she came to my table, she refilled my drink, it's very clean, they're always sweeping up. You know, if you go into like a McDonald's, it's terrible, there's grease everywhere, and I don't know. So I am gonna try the Popeyes at some point, but I had a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich, it was great. So yeah, just find one of these places that has the free vacuums. The one I generally go to is the one where I take my wife's car to get washed because I kind of feel bad she's using the free vacuums, but I give them business using my wife's car. It also says free vacuum, so I don't know if it actually matters. So what I do is I actually go and use the air, and I blow all of the dust out off the dash. I don't do that every time, but I do it sometimes. And then I just use the vacuum, sweep the car out, and it looks pretty good. I do need to condition the seats, so I'm probably going to do that soon as well. But yeah, that's kind of the approach I take to keeping my car clean, being in an apartment, and all that type of stuff. There are still some watermarks on the outside of the car. The windows are done okay, so I'm going to go ahead and touch that stuff all up myself. But it is nice to get the big stuff taken care of. I am extremely close to negotiating the price on my next car. Now, the thing you guys are going to all be asking is, are you getting rid of the ST? No, I'm not. I'm about $1,000 away from getting the price that I want. Obviously, if I get the car, I will let you guys know. I'm not going to let you know what it is right away until it gets shipped in, but really close. So I'm pretty excited about that. We'll see what happens. If you guys remember a while back, I had a giveaway for my old intake filter. I got the Mountain V2 filter now instead of the version 1. So what I did was I cleaned out my old one, and I was going to give it away. I gave it away, and a guy named Kerwin won. The problem is he was in a place in the world where I could not ship it to him. And him and I went back and forth on email. I went to FedEx, I did all this stuff, and I could not get it to him. So I felt terrible about that because I promised him that he won, I was going to ship it to him, and I couldn't fulfill my promise. So I still actually have that intake. And I went back on that video and said, hey, you've won to a couple people, but no one's responded. So if you're watching this video and you're in the United States and you have a Focus ST and you want that filter, just comment below, send me the filter, and I will pick a winner and I will send it to you right away. But you do have to be in the United States, because I don't want to risk what happened on the last giveaway to happen with that. So yeah, comment below if you're still watching this far in the video, which very few people probably are. You've been rewarded, because you have a high chance of winning the intake. So now I'm going to show you some cleaning techniques for your seats, your interior. If there's one thing I'm happy with on my ST, I've been able to keep the interior of this car basically perfect. So what we're going to do is just clean up this passenger seat. Now the reason in this video I'm only going to clean the passenger seat is because the best way to do this is after you clean your car and condition it, you should let the seats sit for about 24 hours to let the conditioner and everything soak in. So you can see places like right here, a little shiny, there's some grease on there, and then right here there's just some probably leg sweat or something like that. These seats, for how hot it is here, these seats get soaked in sweat, so it's just good to get all of that out of there. So I will use this brush. Again, all this will be in the link in the description so you can check it out. Here's the conditioner I'm going to be using, this leather conditioner from Chemical Guys, and here is the cleaner that I will be using. So I'll show you exactly how I'm going to use all of this together. And then there's also this, which I will use if there's any really tough spots. So maybe it's going to be tough to get this off. So I'll be using this abrasive to kind of help speed that process up. You see, I'm really happy with how that just turned out. You can see how this matte finish has been restored on both of these sides where it was greasy before. So, you know, it shows that this is actually doing something, and me agitating it with this brush is actually lifting up all the body oils and sweat that's built up over time on the bolsters. We're just going to continue this process through the rest of the seat. The seat is 100% been cleaned. So all of the oils, or most of the oils and everything, has been rubbed off. So now what I'm going to do is put on this conditioner. Again, I'm going to let this sit for 24 hours. Just all soak in so I can get the best result of the conditioner. It's kind of like when you put conditioner in your hair. You don't just wash it out right away like shampoo. You massage it, let it sit for a couple minutes, and then you wipe off the residual stuff. So that's exactly what I'm going to do with this leather conditioner. So one quick tip, when you're using leather conditioner, and also you'll notice I put gloves on. No reason for that, totally random. You can choose whether you want to put gloves on or not. I see a lot of professional detailers doing it just because having these corrosive chemicals on your hands a lot of times it's just not good. Put gloves on. Also going to be using this applicator pad to apply the conditioner. And here's the process I use for that. One thing you want to check when you're using conditioner, because this stuff does separate over time. I always take a look at the bottom of the bottle just to make sure, or the top, to make sure there's no separation. So you can see it's consistent all the way through. That's because I shook it up. This stuff sits a lot because you're not conditioning your seats that often, so this stuff will always sit. So I always shake it up really good. Make sure it's totally balanced and shooken up. Otherwise you get too little cleaner or too much and it's just separated. You just want it to be consistent all the way through. So shake it up really well, and then I'll show you how I put it on the applicator pad. Now you can kind of do this however you want, have some fun with it. There's a three-eyed alien, and he's smiling with a nose. So you can do whatever you want here. But the key is to rub it all around the pad. You don't want it to, you want to kind of do an even disbursement all the way around the this pad here. Very hard with camera in my hand. Now that that is taken care of, we're going to start applying it to the seat. And we're just going to do soft passes. Just soft passes, just like that. Okay, yeah, and just some wispy little clouds. And we're just gonna wisp them along. Bob Robert Ross reference, if you didn't get that. And we're just slightly covering the entire surface. And you'll notice it's shiny right now, but we will wipe that excess off. So we're just trying to lightly cover the surfaces, and I'm trying to spread all of that conditioner that is on here, spread it evenly all over the seat. The keen viewer will notice that I haven't really touched this section, and that's because, oh, my back hurts. And that's because that like still has its original factory matte finish because there's nothing really touches it. So I just kind of leave that alone. So I say if there's a part of your seat that really never gets touched, wipe it off with a microfiber or whatever, but you don't necessarily need to go and do the whole process that I just showed you. So that is the routine that I go through keeping my ST clean. This is where I park it, so it is a covered parking garage, which is nice, but there's still a lot of dust that will build up on the car fairly quickly. You probably can't see it in this light, but it does happen. The good thing is it's protected from wind and the little rain that we do get here, so it does stay cleaner. In December, I'll be moving into a house that'll have a 2-car garage, so I'll be able to keep this thing really clean. But those are the steps I go through. You also might notice that there's some tire shine on the wheels, so that's a nice little touch. I use Ammo Mud. That to me is the best tire shine out there. It doesn't sling at all. It has a shine, but it's not like this bright, crazy, obnoxious shine. And it's also hydrating, so it's not gonna be bad for your tires. It's gonna keep them, it's gonna be good for your tires. A lot of this stuff that the tire shines that you can put on your tires is actually not good, and this will keep your tires hydrated because it's water-based. So that's why I use Ammo Mud. It is expensive, but again, it's a great product. I stand by it 100%. So there's a couple other things I'm gonna touch up on the car, but that's basically the routine that I go through. Some other tips, anytime you're cleaning your car on the interior, wherever you're cleaning, do not let that liquid dry. Because as you're agitating it and brushing it and you see those white bubbles come up, liquid is working. You're agitating it, it's lifting dirt up. When that dirt's lifted, it's floating in those bubbles. If you let that dry, it seals back down into the seat. So do not let it dry. That's why I do little sections at a time so I can really focus on cleaning it well, and then I wipe it up and dry it on my own. So then you're picking the dirt up. So that's why you don't want to let it dry. But let's take a quick look at the seat after it's been. So now we can take a look at the seat. There's a little bit of shine on there. I'm gonna have to go ahead and just wipe that down more. But any of the excess shine that you get, you want to just go ahead and use a microfiber that's dedicated to the interior, and then just wipe it off a little bit more, because you don't need a ton to be saturating into the seat. So there we go. That's what I do to keep my ST clean. The other thing to note is I am extremely close to closing the deal on my new car. So I'm not getting rid of the ST, do not worry about it, but I am gonna be getting a new car here soon. Today's Saturday, so on Monday, I'm gonna hopefully work out all the details, and then I'll be able to drive and go pick the car up, hopefully next Saturday. So Brad is most likely gonna take me up in his new Golf R. It should be really fun content. But again, I don't wanna promise you anything because the deal could fall through. Working with all these private sellers, it's a pain. Some people back out, they're not sure if they wanna sell their car, all this stuff. So that's what I'm working on right now. I'm not gonna tell you what it is because the deal could fall through. Last week I actually finalized, I think it was a Wednesday night, finalized, okay, deal, we both agreed on it. The guy texts me back an hour later, he's like, hey man, I have someone offering 1,000 more. So I'm like, okay, I'm not offering 1,000 more, so go ahead and sell it. Because I thought he was bluffing. He goes, all right, I'm not gonna text him till tomorrow, I'll give you that time to think about it. But if someone's offering 1,000 more, why would you give me time to think about it? So what he ended up doing, he called me back. Hey, the deal fell through, are you still interested in the car? I was out on the car, there's no way that I wanted to buy it. I said, nope, not interested anymore, I have another one locked down. The other model that I'm looking at is a lot cleaner than this one. So that's who I'm still working with. And he's like, hey, still interested? The deal fell through. It's just kind of funny, he was bluffing, just trying to get an extra $1,000 out of me. So that's the deal. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, or if I left anything out, if I wasn't clear on anything, leave them in the comments below. I'll try to get back to as much as I can. Lots of content coming this week. I'm motivated, I'm jacked up. I want to get as many videos out as I can, and we'll see you soon.